Welcome to another theme mountain video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a box column and add nested boxes. So I have a very simple page set up here. I have a little bit of content, and I'm going to go ahead and box the content to the right here. So I'm going to switch over to the editor, and I'm going to go ahead and edit the column that wraps this content. Once I have the column settings open, I'm going to switch to design options. Under column styling, I can either select boxed or boxed with rounded corners. So I'm going to select the second option here. When I do this, I'm presented with a range of different options that correspond to this box. The first one is merge child boxes here. And I'm going to return to this option in just a minute because this is used for the nesting boxes. So I'm going to leave that out right now, but I'm quickly just going to go through the rest. So minimum height of your box, if you want to set one, you have the box size. So I'm going to go ahead and select large, but you can obviously set a custom size as well. Now the size determines the padding of the box. And then we have the color options, background color, border color, title colors, and such things. And also shadow, should we want to add it. Now, for illustrative purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and add a background color here so we can clearly see the box. Now, you can obviously add gradient for the background color and for background color on hover. I'm not going to do that right now, though. I am going to go ahead and select Apply Shadow. Again, I'm just going to leave the defaults here. I'm going to go ahead and save and update, and we can see what this looks like. And there we go. We have our boxed column with a little bit of content inside. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add some box shortcodes to this box, and I'm going to position one at the top of the parent box here and one at the bottom. Now the first thing I'm going to do then is switch back to the column that we just boxed, back to the Design Options tab, and this time I'm going to go ahead and click Merge Child Boxes. Then I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now remember, if you don't check this option, nesting will not work. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add a box shortcode here. And the first thing I will want to do is to select its position within the parent box. Now, if you select first, basically it gives this box a negative left, right, and top margin, so it looks perfectly nested up top. If you select last, it will give it a negative margin to the left, right, and bottom, so that it looks perfectly nested at the bottom in the parent box. So since this is our first box, I'm just going to go ahead and select first. And then I'm just going to switch to design options here. I'm going to set a custom color. I'm going to go ahead and select green. And then you will also want to set the size of the box to correspond to that of the parent box so that it gets the right negative margins. So I'm going to go ahead and select extra large, of course. Now I'm just going to switch back here and I'm going to add a little bit of content. So I'm just switching the background color here of the editor. There we go. I'm just going to turn this into a heading here. Right, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm just going to go ahead and drag that to the top here since this one will appear first. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it, drag this one to the bottom. And this time I'm just going to go ahead and switch the color here to white. And I'm just going to delete this and add some new content. Perfect. And then we just style this a little bit here. Cool, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Just set the background color of the box as well and the border color. Right, so we have made sure that these boxes are nested now. We've set up all the options. Of course, again, go through all the color options and play around with them so we get a feel for it. I'm going to go ahead and save this and we can see what this looks like. And there we go, we have our really cool nested box here. But as you can see here, we forgot to switch the position of the bottom one. So obviously this one doesn't look really right. So let me just switch back and do this. And I'm just going to scroll to the bottom here. I'm going to switch this one to last, and we can see how it should actually look. Perfect. So there we can see we have the top nested box and we have the bottom nested box and we have our content in the middle from the parent box here. So that's how you create a box column and use nested boxes.